What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are checking out Podcasting Business School. It's a show where I teach podcasters how to love their show like a hobby, but build it like a business. We're doing a little podcast audit jam session with my girls from the Midlife Moxie podcast, Gail and Christina. If you are looking for some podcasting tips on how to grow your show, how to launch a podcast, how to monetize a podcast, you're in the right place. And honestly, these two women are two of my besties on Clubhouse. We do a room together every Thursday, and they are super entertaining. They've got a great show. Make sure you check out Midlife Moxie. So I'm excited to pull in and kind of brainstorm a little bit on, podcast engagement, podcast download growth, podcast monetization. So first off, welcome to the show, Gail, Christina, welcome.
We are glad to be here. The question is, are you ready? Are you ready, Adam?
I was telling Christina,
like, no,
I like being able to see you guys so I can keep an eye on you. It was on Clubhouse, and you never know what's happening behind the scenes when we're doing our Thursday
That's the way
room.
we feel. Yeah.
So where would you like to start the conversation? Like, we can focus on audience engagement. We can talk, download growth. We can talk monetization. I know we've had some offline conversations on making the money. So wherever you guys want to start, let's roll with that.
Number one is growing our numbers, because we feel like that's the key to everything else. We feel like our content's great. But it doesn't matter how great your content is if no one is hearing it. And we do have some good listeners. We're developing some super fans, but like you know us. We just want to, just Seth Rogen the dang thing,
Joe Rogan.
Sorry, Seth. That's another
I was
one.
like,
Joe
who's
Rogan.
Seth Rogen?
That's another guy.
He's
Sorry,
like
Joe Rogan is.
Isn't Seth Rogen the son of Dr. Evil and on the Austin
I think
Powers?
so. Yeah. It's Joe Rogan. Sorry, we're going to Joe Rogan it.
We're going to take you from Seth Rogen into Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Okay.
Because we're down in this Seth.
That's the transformation. That's awesome. I want to be like Seth Rogen, said no one ever.
I know. Leave it up to Gail.
So
It's been a long day.
So when we talk about, number growth, that's, you all are still relatively new in the game. So like, how many episodes have we released up to date today?
10.
Okay.
14 this morning.
Is it 14?
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't
14.
7 in the Enneagram Stutter, it's like whatever. 10, 14.
She's just having fun. She could care less. I do the editing. I'm the editor.
So we're 14 episodes deep.
Goodness.
So like the biggest growth is going to come from like episode 25 through 52, like that back half of your first year of weekly content. So you're still in the, I'm figuring things out. We're finding our voice. It seems like every episode, every week, you all are kind of congealing into this, infotainment machine of like, I want to tune in to see what they have to say. It's very entertaining. I laugh. They have great guests, and you're kind of getting your vibe. And now you're great community builders already. Like, I know that you're very magnetic. So I think that's for you. I think
we'd like to think so.
Well, the biggest thing is just like time in the game. For you all, it's just keep on showing up, keep on putting your reps in. Your Clubhouse game is strong. I think just that alone, you're going to see really nice growth. So just keep showing up. Don't get discouraged. Like I made that promise to myself when I launched my first show, 52 or bust. Like, I will not quit before 52. I got to make it that first year before I even think about quitting. So kind of get in that mentality. That being said, then we look at the other growth drivers. Obviously, guesting on other people's shows that have your type of an audience. It's not just anybody's show, but like your type. If we're talking to females age 40 and above about basically anything, those are great shows for you to get into. You all have heard me talk about this technique in our Clubhouse room, but I would definitely look, like, what category are you listed in like Apple Podcasts or Spotify? Do you know?
I think self-improvement.
Okay.
And midlife. Like when I search it, midlife.
Okay. So that's an SEO term. Okay. So the self-help, self-improvement category, I would look in Spotify and I would look in Apple, and they will have a grouping of like, these are the top 200 in this category shows. And I would go to the bottom of that list. So if you go on Spotify, go in the self-help category, go to the rankings and go, okay, the people that are ranked 191 through 200, look and see, all right, are any of these shows great shows for us to be on? And the real kicker is, would they be a great guest for us first? Mm-hmm. So the methodology I used to build my first show, Million Pound Mission, I did this. I actually ended up hiring a VA just to do this every week for me. They would go to the rankings. They would start at 191 to 200. They would send me like, hey, I think this show, and that show, I would need your approval to reach out to them. I would give my approval on 3 or 4 of the shows. They would do a reach out going, hey, I represent Adam from Million Pound Mission. He listened to some of your episodes. He thinks you'd be a great guest on his show. So we invite them first. All right. That's the key thing. So you get it. You're going to get a great guest, a great podcaster. They probably have a decent following if they're anywhere on any of those lists, and they come on your show first. You two are pretty damn good at making friends. I will say, like, we became fast friends. You're very like magnetic personalities. You make people smile. You make people laugh. These are all good things. You have them on your show first. They have an amazing time. And they're like, you got to come on my show. Boom. So like that is going to be, if you do that every week this year, you're going to get booked on dozens of these top 200 shows. Like it's a little bit of legwork, but it's not really that much. And we're not emailing them going, I'd be a great guest for your show. And here's why. Yeah. Like I delete those emails now every time, because it's just like, I've had so many bad experiences. I'm like, it's 1% good experiences, so it's not worth my time.
Yeah.
But everybody will open an email saying, we'd love to have you as a guest on our podcast. Okay. You're at least going to get a chance there. You make friends because you need guests anyway, right? Like that's something that we need. Might as well be a top podcaster. All right.
I love it.
And then each week you ratchet up and go, okay, last week was 191 to 200. Let's go to 181 to 190. And then let's work our way up. But you just have to be mindful of how many people you're booking, because you want these to happen and you want the episodes to come out relatively soon afterwards so that you can maintain that momentum from that connection. If you really want to get booked on their show, I want their episode coming out within a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks max. So they still remember you. And in case they didn't invite you at the end of the episode, at the end of the interview, like if they aren't like, hey, come on my show, then you get that next follow-up 2 or 3 weeks later and you go, hey, your episode's live. We'd love to have you. Are you on Clubhouse? We'd love to have you in one of our rooms to kind of feature you and talk about and introduce you to our audience, because you guys have really strong Clubhouse followings. You could do the same thing on Instagram. That's how I did it. That's how I built up my health account to 11,000 followers, was just like having all these people have big ass followings. And if you do an Instagram live together, it does a push notification to all of their people, just like they're going live. So it's a great way to pick up. I did one of those for 15 minutes and I picked up 300 followers on Instagram from one person's account, because they had a 300,000 Instagram account. So
would you do this after, like you said, 3 weeks after? So you wouldn't ask them right away after you record with them, hey, can we calendar something for 3 weeks down the road just to?
Yeah, if you want to do that strategy, that's the best way to do it. So I'm glad you brought that up, Christina. So the formula that I used was search the top 200, ask for or invite first emails, get them on the show. At the end of the session, go, hey, when this will be live in, give them a date if you can. Like you really got it. Like if you're really organized with this and you got all your ducks in a row with all this stuff, it really helps. And then you go, hey, on this date, it'll be live. We do a regular Clubhouse room or an Instagram live or whatever on this date. Maybe you give them options. Are you more of a Clubhouse person or an Instagram person? We would love to get you in front of our audience again for some live Q&A, and really, like, they have books to sell. They've got courses. They've got all the things. So getting free access to your community again is going to be another win for them. If you do those 2 steps, for me personally, I had an 80% success rate of getting asked to be on their podcast. And I was on 50 of the top 200 podcasts that year. And that was giant. Like I was on several top 10 Apple podcasts, health podcasts, just from making friends. Cause then the next thing, like you are very entertaining. Like you two are really entertaining and fun to listen to.
We think so.
So
if you don't think we're funny, we're not you're not my friend.
You have,
oh Lord,
you have like these great experiences. They come on your show, you do an Instagram live or a Clubhouse, you go on their show. Like you're probably going to be friends at that point. Like you're connected. And then you look at their Rolodex and go, hey, I noticed you had so-and-so on your show. Could you give us a warm introduction? That's how you skip the line and going from 200 to maybe they've got somebody that's been on their show that was a top 50 or a top 20. And you, hey, could you give me a warm intro? I would love to have them on my show as well. And that's how I skip the line, because you start ping-ponging off of warm introductions. That gets you through all the gatekeepers, you know, like I've built up a reputation in the industry, as you guys know. When I make a recommendation for a couple people to connect for some podcast collaboration, 99% of my friends just go, yeah, whatever Adam sends me, I trust what he's not going to send me people that aren't going to add value to my audience. So let's just go. Yeah. So that kind of introduction, now that bumps you up. Maybe you interview somebody that's a top 50 podcast, or you make friends. You go on that show, all of a sudden, audience growth. So this is a longer play, but you're going to suck up a lot of these people. And these are great connections to have anyway. You know, like these are people that you, like we had talked about having a quarterly workshop idea. It's nice to have, you know, if you have a really, you know, interesting person and they come on and they teach in your workshop, that's all well and good. But if they're a top 200 podcaster, they probably got a following and they're selling tickets to your workshop. Like that's just more brand exposure and you're pulling them into your world. That's, you know, so it just levels everything up.
And I like that they're following our people that listen to podcasts, because some people have big followings, but they're not podcast people. Like my husband are like, we are podcast people. We love good podcasts. Because I had been working this strategy of trying to find people who had large followings on social media, but maybe they hadn't been on a lot of podcasts yet, thinking that would be something fresh. So it sounds like maybe I was going the wrong direction with that. Yeah.
I would like, the ideal person you want on your show is a podcaster that has a good following. That's I would set your filter at who's a good podcaster first, and then out of those people who has a big following, and then, you know, leverage that, and then look them up. Like if you have someone on, and I would look up their IG, I would look up their Clubhouse, and just see where they seem to be more active, and just steer them towards that, like with the follow-up.
I was thinking, their audience is probably tired of hearing them if they do all these podcasts. I need someone fresh. So I was definitely going about that the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing we want to talk about is that sync, that pattern. You know, have them on the show, the IG live, the postings. And I know you do some things with that. You have a very defined schedule with the way you work things. And we're trying to
define a schedule.
Define that. Like when, you know, when does the newsletter go out? When does we release Tuesdays at 5:30 a.m. So what would be a good schedule for you that you would recommend for us as far as the social media postings, the newsletter, a blog post, an IG live, and a clip?
Yeah. Okay. So what I would do is set up I like a 72-hour window. So you go live on Tuesday morning. Then, all right, what's the game plan for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? That's the critical algorithm hours of a new piece of content goes on to Apple. The more energy, the more listens, the more subscribes that you pull into that ecosystem in 72 hours, the more the algorithm works for you. After that, it's considered like old content, and it may even have changed. You know, Apple's not real like forthcoming with like, this is exactly how our algorithm works. Like they never, but like just being in the podcasting world, everybody's like 72 hours, maximize that window. Like that's just a good thing. That's always going to be
very good
helpful.
To know.
So let me ask you this. If we're going back to other episodes, like older episodes, are you saying that it's probably not as effective if we're doing that?
No, I mean, it's always good to bring up older content, and you know, those are assets that we can always bring up or whatever. Okay. But we do want to dial in a separate strategy just for the new stuff for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's helpful. Like, let me give you my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because I release Podcasting Business School episodes on Tuesday mornings also. Something to think about, the time. You said 5:30 a.m. I would suggest potentially making that earlier, Like I do a 1 a.m. Because if people are up, like I'm already working out by 5:30 a.m. So I might be halfway done by then. I'm on East Coast time. But also thinking about other English speaking countries. If you want to catch somebody in the UK, there's a 5 to 6 hour difference. So if you release at 1 a.m., that's going to give you a shot at their morning routine as well. And you guys will pick up followers. Like, I'm sure it's already happening, but you'll get more and more of that. And usually the timing works out with Australia for that too. Like it's not like in the middle of the night. So, those are my my 4 zones of English speaking growth is the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia. So something to think about there. But let's get back to the 72-hour thing. So what I do Tuesday morning, I do a 6-slide carousel post. That's my initial. And for me, I like the multiple slide carousel because it's like fishing with a whole bunch of lines in the water. If I'm trying to catch a catfish, I don't want just one line. I'm gonna put like 5 lines out there because greater opportunity. And that's how Instagram works, where you may not see the first post, but you may see the third one, and you'll go back and look at the whole thing because it kind of has a little rhythm to it. So I'll do an intro image that says, here are my top 4 takeaways from this week's episode. The next 4 are the top 4 takeaways, and then a call to action image at the end of go check out episode blah, 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 Podcasting Business School. So it could be 3 takeaways. It could be whatever you want, but I would have a multi-image, fishing poles in the water. I do that. Then Tuesday evening is when I do my Instagram live. So that is my evening content piece where that live always drives back to my Tuesday episode. Like at the time that we're recording this, I just released my first episode of the year with my friend Evan, aka Vanator, about online business building. And so tonight he wasn't available for an Instagram live. I'm probably going to pull him in for an extra one this week. But if you can pull in your guest on your IG live, or like that's ideal right there. But I'm just going to talk about a sub segment of my top 3 podcast business building tools that I use for my online businesses. So it's like a subtopic that I can talk about live. I can save it as a post, and it's on my feed on Instagram. And this is stuff that you can share. The carousel slides you can post on Facebook, you can post them on LinkedIn, you can post them wherever you want. Then Wednesday morning, I'll do my first 60-second highlight clip of the episode. That goes out. I'm putting that on Instagram stories, Instagram reels, Facebook stories, Facebook reels, TikTok, LinkedIn. That one 60-second square video fits on all those platforms. So I love that. I use Descript. I just edit it up. Boom, good to go. And if you're
do you like Descript better than the one Libsyn provides?
I do. It's got a little bit more to it. It was easier for me to figure out. I can get them done faster. They kind of save like a template. The Headliner is the one that Libsyn does. And for whatever reason, I just had a hard time figuring it out. So that's the AM on Wednesday. And then Wednesday PM, I'll either do a reel or I'll just have another just image series that's a little bit different than the first one that went out. And I'll try to have, I have all these pictures of me like making weird faces or pointing and doing all this stuff.
Yeah, we've seen them.
Yeah. So like you guys have
we've seen them, Adam.
You've got comedic content like I do. So you could do something like that. Like there was just one where I have just a million of my weird faces, and then I'll have like the episode title in the middle, and people always laugh and they'll look at it, like get weird, get quirky, get funny.
Not a problem.
I can do that.
And I will just copy and paste the same text from my initial images, the carousel, and just pop it in there because it's PM. And a lot of the same people aren't checking AMs and PMs, or somebody didn't see it the time before. So it's just like,
no, it's basically a 72-hour blitz.
Yeah. And then, so I want AM, PM, AM, PM, AM, PM. And then Thursday, I'll do another 60-second video, and then usually another reel, or I'll advertise my live for the next week. So sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's 5 posts, but that 72-hour window,
I think we're missing that. And I did not know about the 72-hour window. So thank you so much for that. That right there is worth the price of admission
and
today.
just pack it in there.
Game changer.
Worth what we pay you.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same amount of work, just leverage that you can get more out of it because you're already doing all the things. Let's just compress it so that if people do go and click, and also it's important to kind of keep reminding people, Instagram stories, you can have a direct link always now, no matter how many followers you have. So always stick that link anytime you share your videos or whatever. And the beautiful thing is you're two people, you have two accounts. So you can all be like just spraying this out to your followers, their followers. So that helps.
That was one thing that I brought up, and I was like, well, is it okay? Because we're partners and some of us have the same audience. Is it okay that I'm doing the same thing that you're doing? I mean, obviously we're different people, but is that okay?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I told her.
Perfect.
I told her, Adam.
Okay.
She just had to hear from Adam.
You got to think like people in our social media feed, they're literally seeing like 6% of what we put out.
Right.
You know?
Mm.
So maybe they will see it one time. They're probably not going to see it both.
Yeah, exactly. And, and maybe Christina's got these like super cute little dogs, like that new dog that you've got. Like,
oh,
Bacon.
Lord.
Like, she's a shitbag.
I just want to watch the stories. I'm like, when's she going to post another picture of her new little dog? But people maybe
Adam, you are not being helpful because I've been trying to get her to post about the show and about business, and she's posting about that damn dog.
But here's the thing. So that's like I love my kids. I'm super proud of my kids, but I purposely post cute kid content or me dressed up weird, funny content because I get a lot of comments, a lot of love, a lot of likes, and that the next post is my podcast advertising stuff, and the algorithm's all juiced up from all the other stuff.
Sprinkled in, though. It's sprinkled in.
Yeah.
Sprinkled.
So both, definitely, I think we need more dog reels happening out of Christina, dancing dog reels.
Christina.
Oh, gosh. Me and reels.
So anyway, but I think that's, I don't see any problem with that at all. And just use that 6% rule of 6% of people, or people are seeing 6% of what we are putting out there, unless they're obsessed with us. If they're obsessed with us, they're not going to care,
Okay.
So that's kind of the way I think of it, and just spray it out there. And if it gets annoying, then if people are getting annoyed with you adding value, then they're not the right people.
If that's what annoys them about us, bless them.
Oh,
there's a long list of things they could be annoyed with us about.
Yes.
That's
probably.
Then that's fine.
Probably.
So you guys are super entertaining. I feel like you're in a great spot. So I just want to reemphasize, this is the year that Midlife Moxie, they put their head to the ground. They put in the work. They keep showing up consistently. You have great content. It's entertaining. It's fun. The right people are going to find your show. This is the year that you grow. This is the year of growth. So don't monetization. That's going to happen. I guarantee you're going to make money. We've got some good ideas going, but
dollar bills. Yeah.
Like you said, you build it and they will come. That's the thing. That's the thing. So
we want to build it and they will pay us.
They will pay. They will pay. So we're running out of time. So I want to make sure we give you a chance to shout out your show. So Gail, why don't you do a little Midlife Moxie shout out, and then we'll close her down.
Well, over at Midlife Moxie, we're all about women making midlife one of the best seasons of their lives. We bring on people with pivotal stories, inspiring stories, and experts that talk about things that midlife women care about. We go deep, we get raw, we don't hold anything back, and we're having the conversations that we feel like need to be had, and we have a heck of a lot of fun doing it.
Outstanding. So
midlifemoxie.net also is our website where you can sign up for our newsletter and get more content. We have a blog there, and a lot of our guests are writing blogs, and there's more content there for you to take in while you're waiting on the next episode.
Yep. And if you all are listening, you're on Clubhouse, come and check us out on Thursdays. Right now we're going 2 p.m. Eastern.
And we're making matches.
Yeah, and the Hey Girl You Can Club.
And that's
we do,
match.
Yeah, we do matchmaking. We do a lot of podcast knowledge dropping as well. So ladies, you're two of my favorite new people that I've met in 2021, and I'm excited to keep growing that relationship in 2022. I'm your biggest cheerleader, and I'm gonna
we love it. We forgot to
celebrate
tell you,
together.
We have t-shirts too that say Adam said. If you knew how many times that comes up in our conversations, Adam said. Christina thinks that trumps everything too. If Adam said it,
I'm turning into Forrest Gump's mom. Like, my mama said that.
My mama said
there's a 72-hour window on your podcast. So that's
Adam said.
That's pretty much me. So, all right, ladies, I appreciate you. I'm excited to see what this year does for you. And for anybody that's listening in, if you would like to do a podcast audit, just like the soon-to-be world-famous Gail and Christina from Midlife Moxie, head on over to the website, podcastingbusiness.school. Get signed up. And with that, I will send you out into the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you all
Get your Moxie
next time.
on.
Get that Moxie on.
Yes.
Bye-bye.